Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us once again for our latest 1 p.m. stream here. Oh, these championship weeks do fill up, don't they? So it was the preview on Tuesday at 1 p.m., then the first leg of the review on Wednesday. And here we are on Thursday reviewing the remaining 6 matches. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. again, previewing the next load of matches. It never ends. So we're going to go through the 6 games. Please let me know that you can see me and hear me loudly and clearly. Get your comments in on each game as we go through so we can try and keep a focus on what is going on. But your comments are, of course, massively valuable to the debate and the discussion here on the channel. We will get to the action momentarily. First off, we need to do our plugs, and it's a big thank you to Russ Peake, our fan sponsor of the Championship Review Show. Russ, a fan and now friend despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. Thank you as ever, Russ. And thank you everybody that supports the channel, either via Super Chat, Patreon, over in the Teespring shop, where you can buy merchandise, and you can get a 10% discount there up on the screen. Enter the code LIVE at the checkout. We'll run that until sort of close to Christmas. So well worth a little bit of a discount. Hey, never did anybody any harm. But as I say, the most valuable contribution you can make to this channel is by spreading your knowledge about likely your football team or, well, just your football knowledge generally. I don't have a dog in the fight in this division, and hopefully I've accumulated a fair bit, and it's probably all from debating with you guys and listening to you guys. As ever, please hit like if you're in the stream on whatever platform you're watching, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and hit the subscribe button as we close in on 13,400 subscribers. Every single one of you, thank you, and it helps. Let me just have a swig of my coffee. Already coughing and spluttering early on into this one. Did you hear that? Ting, ting. Left a wine glass on the table from last night. You can't see that out of shot. Right. Let's get to the action, because there was another 6 games last night in the Championship, making up the end of round number 17. We still have a 3-game week to go before we hit Christmas, and that will indeed be round 20 that we've put a lot of stock into knowing where we're going to stand at that point in December the 19th. Is that right? And then the poor players actually get a week off for the first time in 5 weeks. Goodness me. The results last night in the 7 p.m. Preston 3, Borough 0. And then in the 7:45s, Barnsley 2, Wycombe 1. Brentford 0, Derby 0. Bristol City 1, Blackburn 0, which we did on the watch along last night. Thank you for everybody that joined me for that one. Norwich 2, Forest 1, Reading 1, Birmingham 2. So some interesting ones there. You can tell by the inflection of my voice. I always used to watch the results coming in on Grandstand when I was a kid and mock the guy reading them all out. But you end up doing it yourself when you're reading out the scores. As ever, we will start at the top of the league, and that means Norwich, who are now 3 points clear at the top of the table. Congratulations to them. And they're far and away our only 2 points per game team. They move on to 34 points in the 17 games so far. And they beat Forest and Chris Hughton, who used to manage Norwich, 2-1 last night at Carrow Road. Norwich getting through the injuries now. And if you look at the bench, you'll see, well, they're short, but the actual names on there, Hugill, Cantwell, Dowell, McLean, Tete, it does kind of intimate the sort of quality there is in this squad when 60% of them are fit, 70% of them are fit. God, if 100% of them are fit, say goodbye to Norwich, because they'll probably disappear into the distance. But the first team, very, very decent. McGovern's still in over Krul. Then Aarons, Zimmerman, Hanley, Sørensen. Sørensen's played left back for weeks now. Vrancic and Skip. Vrancic isn't a bad replacement, is he? Given his output. Buendia, Stieperman, Martin over Placheta, I think is a new injury. By the way, I think Ben Gibson's also a new injury. But big picture, there's more players coming back for Norwich now than going out. Teemu Pukki up top. As I maintain, Norwich can have as many injuries as they like, but while they're putting Pukki, Buendia, Aaron's out on the pitch together, they've got a chance in any game in the Championship with that quality down that side of the pitch. Forest there, who've got far more valuable players than Norwich at the moment, far more than most teams in the Championship. Good squad, Forest. But down at the bottom of the table, aren't they? Samba, Krissy, Figueiredo, Worrell is now back in, and Ribeiro, Sal and Cafu, not that one. Lolly, Arta, Amiobi with Lyle Taylor. Up the top, this one is going to end 2-1. And it is a stoppage time goal for Norwich, but not at the end of the game. In the first half, there is Jacob Sørensen. I don't know whether that's going to go through the defender's legs there, but he certainly finds the gap to Brice Samba's right. That must be his first goal in English football. So congratulations to him. And Norwich go in 1-0 at half time. Take a look at this. Knockaert has come off the bench. And we know that Knockaert's signature move is to come in off the right and try and shoot with the left foot. I'm not sure this is a shot. It goes very close to, is that Guerrero in the middle? I think this is a cross that the Norwich keeper McGovern is expecting a header on, but one doesn't come and then it just flies into the corner. So that is the equaliser. Apologies to Anthony Knockaert, who's the only person in the known universe that will know whether he was shooting or crossing at that point. But here comes the winner not long after. Emi Buendia, edge of the box there. That is going to take a big deflection off Joe Worrell, who's pretty much stood on the penalty spot. Samba has no chance on that one. And I wanted to speak about that goal a little bit because I had a bit of an epiphany really with it. And I've got to give Norwich a lot of credit really, because I was doing the watch along last night and you can actually watch my reaction. That goal flashed up during the Blackburn and Bristol City game. And I thought, what a lucky goal that is. That's typical Norwich in the Championship. It seems to go for them. And then I had to think about it. And I thought back to when we were talking about Rotherham a few weeks ago. And I said, Rotherham keep getting deflected goals scored against them. Either they're very unlucky or the way that they defend is too deep with too many bodies and too narrow in front of the goalkeeper. And then it made me think about this because Norwich has scored a few deflected goals this season. So either Norwich are very lucky or they play against teams that they force to defend in such a deep and narrow way. And Forest, it's Houghton. So let's be honest, that might not even be down to Norwich. But it kind of stands to reason that if you're constantly attacking and you're constantly facing teams with stacked, narrow defensive, you're probably going to score some deflected goals. So I think my first instinct on that was probably wrong. And that Norwich, just with this manager in this league, just get it done, don't they? And they spend so much time attacking that, yes, late goals come. Yes, deflected goals come. But we all know that teams that have tried to go toe-to-toe with a Daniel Farke Norwich team in the Championship have normally been beaten. So it's credit to Norwich that this is happening. And maybe if everyone was less defensive about them or defensive against them, maybe they'd have even more points than they've got already. But I just sort of thought I'd say that because I do get accused of being harsh on Norwich sometimes. Unfairly, I think. I think that's the issue of Norwich fans who make that accusation of me rather than me. They can't quite cope with me being an Ipswich fan talking about their team. But I wanted to give them some credit and try and give a reason why maybe a very attacking team would score some deflected goals and maybe a very defensive team would concede some defensive goals. Why don't you get your thoughts on that in the comments? And we'll look at the numbers, which, as ever, with Norwich. And this is the thing. If they just keep this up through the season, they will finish in the top 2 because they're just continually having the ball, creating more openings and winning games, frankly. Although in this one, some credit to Chris Hughton, no big chances in this one. And you can see hit woodwork there once for Forest, but 20 shots to 13, 6 on target for 2 to Norwich, 7 corners apiece. And the numbers are the numbers, and they do intimate that Norwich are a good side, and even more so the table does. Look at that. 10 victories already, a league high in 17. They know how to win, don't they? They really, really do. And when you consider the injuries that Norwich have had, surely the season can only get easier from here. You know, you get up to the 20 games and your squad is more fully fit, and players that have come in are then bedded in a little bit better. Back-to-back wins there. The draw and the loss were in the midst of that injury crisis. It was. I have seen some nonsense from Norwich fans about injury crisis, telling me 12 first-team players are out when you literally can only have 11 first-team players. But particularly in that Luton game they lost, there were definitely 4 holes where they were downgrades in the team for sure in that one. So I've got to give a lot of credit to Norwich. But look at Forest. God, we said this about Pulis as well. Hughton has come in to right the wrongs here and get Forest away from the relegation zone. But such a low tide at the bottom. There's just no one is winning in that bottom 5 at all. I've said it a few times. There's only one green circle in there with a W in it, isn't there? In the last 25 games for that bottom 5. So I suppose that's quite good news for Forest and Sheffield Wednesday and Derby, those big clubs down there, because nobody is winning at all. So as soon as somebody does put a run together, up the table, they will go. But not looking good for Forest, but they're still not in the bottom 3. So I suppose there's that one thing. There you go. Get your thoughts in. Let's go to the comments indeed on Norwich and Forest. Although Knockout scored, I think he's passed it myself. Wouldn't have him in my team. Even O'Dowda is better, and he was quite profligate last night. Wasn't hit. Plucky, yes, I am doing Fantasy League this week. I've already done the slideshow. I'll record it later in the afternoon. Anything else on... no, it must pain you to say Norwich are the best team in the league. I'm not convinced they're as good as Leeds or West Brom, though. I predict by game 23 after Boxing Day, we will have league leaders, or they will be the league leaders. I don't know. There we go. Right. I think everything there. Chris says Norwich will not exceed 2 points per game unless they hit top gear like in 18-19. Injuries have prevented them from doing so. Nice quote from Fark. I couldn't be prouder. We are struggling with injuries at the moment. We were outstanding in the first half when we dominated and created so much. Steve says Norwich had 20 shots last night. You make your own luck, as they say. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's just a little bit of an epiphany there. That it's a bit like Manchester United getting penalties and late goals under Ferguson. That wasn't luck, was it? It just wasn't. They were piling men into the box, attack. And as much as a young me found it hard to take that Man United would always seem to win, it wasn't by fluke, was it? Right, where are we going next, guys? We are going to Reading. And I didn't predict that this would happen. Reading 1, Birmingham City 2. Bit of a surprise, that one. I think a few of us called that one the wrong way around. John Terrell temporarily turning into elite number 10 and banging in 2 beautiful goals in the first half. Then lots in the second half, a goal back and then a missed penalty for Reading. Here are the teams there. Raphael in goal, Holmes, Morrison, Moore, Richards, Rinomota, Laurent, Ijaria, Elise, Maite, with Zhao up top there. Etheridge, Pedersen, Dean, Roberts, Colin for Birmingham. Kieftenbeld now in that team. I bet Karanka loves him. Sunjic, Sanchez, Terrell, who's probably staying in the team after this performance, Leko and Hogan. So they are doing it without Jutkovic. We haven't seen Halilovic in yet, who Birmingham are really, really high on. And San Jose as well down the bottom there. So they are doing a fine, fine job there. Let's have a look at the goals. Here is the opener, John Terrell. Not much space there. He's going to stick that to Raphael's right-hand side. You can see where that one is going. So great open. And you think then Birmingham sit in there, get it done. But no, an even better one, this time with the left foot. And he's going to curl that one right into the far corner. A brilliant brace by John Terrell in the first half. Here is the goal back for Maite, just getting there ahead of, is that Mark Roberts, number 4? Sorry if I got that wrong. And he's going to prod that one in. Then all hell breaks loose. So that is the penalty. That is Harley Dean leaning on, excuse me, I don't know whether that is Maite or is that Zhao. What colour are Maite's boots in the other one? Oh, they're orange. I think that might well be Yaku Maite being leaned on there. And Dean had already been booked. He gets the second yellow and it's a penalty. Now, I don't want to get into refereeing because we talked about it too much, but I have been informed that the first yellow card for Dean was a soft one. So maybe he was harshly sent off. However, the penalty's not a good one there from Zhao. Look at his body shape as well. Weird technique walking up there, and it's too close to Etheridge, who goes the right way and makes the save. Birmingham win away at Reading. So excellent stuff. Get your comments in on that one. There are your numbers. 64-36 in terms of the possession for Reading. 11 shots to 5. How many on target? Only 3 shots on target. But hey, John Terrell's finishing was awesome last night. 3 big chances to 0 in Reading's favour there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Karanka ball in full effect there. They're lethal, these type of managers. When it goes right, I heard Jamie Carragher and it's Carragher and Neville actually talking about playing against the Rafa Benitez side. And they were saying, you'd think you were playing well and you'd think you'd had a good game and you've lost 2-0 or something. And Karanka at his best is like that. And I'm sure the Reading players and fans will be coming away thinking something similar there. There is the table. 5th place there, Reading. With a defeat, they would have gone tucked into 2nd behind Norwich there on 33 with a victory. If they'd scored that penalty and got a point, they would have been in 3rd. So bad day for Reading, who have ridden the storm of the 4 straight defeats really well. I've been full of praise for them for that, but they come a cropper in this one. Birmingham up to 15, back-to-back victories. We get a lot of Birmingham fans in the chat, which is great. And they're sometimes a bit down on Karanka and it's a bit dour. But I think they've gone back-to-back wins twice this season now. So out of somewhere come these victories. I like the squad. There's some good players in that squad. And he's finally seeming to move them away from relying on Jutkovic, which Gary Monk obviously did when he was back as manager of Birmingham. And I think Jutkovic has carried Birmingham to a certain extent over the past season with Bellingham and last season. But great win. John Terrell, don't know where that came from, but superb stuff. Let's have a look at your comments here. Where are we looking? Nick says, absolutely class Birmingham were last night. This was a shock, says Carl. Dion Jensen, am I still banned? I don't know. Well, you're here. Why would you be banned? Remind me. Harry is here, who's just signed up on Patreon. Thank you so much, Harry, for that. Brilliant stuff, my friend. Very kind. Birmingham played some good stuff in the first half, then understandably concentrating and keeping Reading at arm's length. Penalty miss crucial, of course. And we had one at, it was Stoke and Cardiff, where Stoke could have gone 2-0 up, couldn't they? So a couple of vital vital penalty misses in this one. Birmingham's so much better away than at home. Only one loss on their travels. Is that right, Chris? Interesting. A bit of a weird one with Blues. The moments of the games they played well, they score, and for the rest, they don't really trouble. Don't see them doing anything but mid-table. I think they'd probably be happy with that, Harry, and get things nice and steady there. Reading only picked up 8 points in the last 9 games. Yeah, they have, but you can also produce a stat to say that that's 8 points in the last 5 games as well, can't you? So looking better. Watch out for Birmingham now. 4-2-3-1. Keefton Beld. We always knew Karanka was going to love Keefton Beld. Might had to go off what looked like a bad injury again. He was injured early, wasn't he? Pauno's messed up the stuff, so ended 10v10. Zhao ended as passenger too. Oh dear, that's not good. Birmingham's only, so the only away game was lost at Norwich. That was late on as well, wasn't it? Reading were dreadful last night. Credit to Birmingham, looked much better than the table suggests. But we always lose at home to Brum. One of those teams, is it? Every club has them. I remember when McCarthy was Ipswich manager and Derby were just continually finishing the playoffs, but somehow through sheer whatever, Ipswich would always manage to win at Derby 1-0 without even going anywhere near the goal. They'd still get a goal and somehow see it through. Where are we going next, guys? It is Bristol City 1, Blackburn 0, which we did as the watch along. So I can give you chapter and verse on this one because I watched the game. It was pretty good fun, actually. A lot of people were higher on it than I was. Lots and lots of shots, as in 38, but not actually that many examples of one team sort of playing through the other and creating a big chance. You can see only 3 in the game, and it felt like they came from direct balls or counter-attacks or something like that. Get your comments in on this one. We did see Alfie Mawson in the crowd. I don't know how far he is away after his surgery, but he's not there yesterday. Bentley in goal, Hunt, Viner, Callas, Rowe, O'Dowda, Naj, Backinson returning. I'm a big fan of his. Semenyo, Martin, and Wells. That's annoying when my mouse does that for no reason whatsoever. Apologies. Blackburn there. Kaminsky, Nyambe, Ayala, Williams, and Douglas across the back. Johnson, Holtby, and Rothwell, with Gallagher, Armstrong, and Elliott, who I must admit I'm a really big fan of, actually. He looks like a real player he could be in the future. I wonder how high he can go. Let's have a look here. We only have one clip here, and there it is from Ara Jeju coming off the bench and scoring the winning goal there. And Mowbray had made his substitution. It didn't work. Holden made his substitution, and it did work. And here are the numbers. Excuse me, as I pressed the wrong button again. And 60% possession to Blackburn, 22 shots, 8 corners to 5. But you look at the big chances, 2-1 in Bristol City's favour. And if we look at the table, Dean Holden doing a fair old job in 6th place there. Keeping them up there, they're going to be one of these teams going against the parachute cartel up at the top. They're going to need to be right on the top of their game with all 3 of the relegated teams. Well, none of them are incompetent this season, which we've had in previous seasons, which is going to make it hard for the challengers. Blackburn, well, they've been the form team in the division, hadn't they? And you can see there 25 points from the 17 games, but only 1 point in the last 2. Get your comments in here. I think we managed to limit Blackburn to long shots, and we kept Armstrong at arm's length. Didn't really trouble Bentley. Ultimately, we always looked the more likely. Fan was class. Had both teams be battling for 6th place at the end of the season. Blackburn always looked decent. Need that extra push. I accused you of possible bias against Norwich, which was really an unfortunate misunderstanding. Well, it's not really a misunderstanding. That's just you being wrong, I'm afraid. You flipped me 2 fingers and no further comments appeared. Look up. Yeah, I'm not biased against anybody, actually. So if you would like to accuse me of being biased against anyone and provide evidence, and argue it in a polite way, then that's absolutely fine. But there's no misunderstanding. Dear Gonza Go, I'm not biased, and don't bother accusing me of it. Go and watch another channel. There's plenty of biased channels you can watch, is all I'll have to say. Probably the biggest insult you can pay me on this channel, I'm talking very seriously here, is to call me biased, because I'm not. And don't do it. Do not bother, okay? Let's see any other comments here. Streaky Dean, still only a few months into the role, doing really, really well. Looking like Lansdowne and Mass has made, I think, the right choice. Nathan Baker. We were talking about this last night. Baker, Callas and Mawson could be really nice. And the way Holden's playing with defenders like that. Nige looks like he's starting to develop. He's been there a while indeed. Dark Horse Blackburn, getting a darker horse, aren't they? They're a little further away. Rovers should have at least got a draw. Some of their fans accusing Armstrong of being selfish, taking 9 shots instead of passing. But if you don't shoot, you don't score, and he is the Championship top scorer there. That's you told off. No, I don't. Look, I'm being serious, but it's ridiculous. I'm sorry, it is utterly ridiculous. When you see what's on YouTube, the idea of me being biased is just a joke. And the fact that, and we have this a lot, the fact that human beings cannot process their own bias and then accuse other people who are not biased of it is just, it's just laughable. Honestly, absolutely laughable. I would, and especially over something as petty as, oh, I support the rival team of the team who I'm allegedly biased against. That basically credits me with having no emotional intelligence whatsoever, does it? And I'm not going to take that, I'm afraid. So I do apologise, but yes, that is my view on that. And I don't want to sound cocky or snotty. Got 13,400 subscribers or close to. I don't go and watch something else. We're doing fine. We're doing absolutely fine. I'm biased towards Bristol City, but I still try and be objective. And Mick says, I'm a Norwich fan and love watching your channel. Well, Mick, it sounds like you get what I'm trying to do and understand that. This is the stupid thing as well. I make such an effort where Norwich is concerned as well, Mick, because of the obvious and baseless, low information, lowest common denominator, ridiculous accusations that I might receive. So more than any other club, I try and be super fair with Norwich because the accusations are only ever 2 seconds away. So thank you for all of the sensible comments about that. I think you know what we're trying to do here on the channel. Anyway, enough ranting here and me defending myself. Brentford 0, Derby 0. That's a good result for Derby. Nice little run for them, actually. Let's have a look here. Brentford with the standard 4-3-3 there. Raya, Dalsgaard, Janssen, Sorensen, Henry. Where's Pinnock? He's on the bench. Looks like he's having a rest. De Silva, Janelt, Marcondes, Jensen on the bench. Norgard, still injured. And Buemo, Tony, and Canos are the front three there. Still a Ben Rama size hole. Who knows? Marshall, Forsyth, Clark, Davis, Wisdom across the back. Bielik and Shinnie in front of the back four. So a little bit more experience, a little bit more physicality in there. Holmes, Knight, Josviak with Kazim Richards up top. And it's a good little run for Derby, actually. I think they're unbeaten in 4 or 5 games. Not much in the way of action here. Chance for Marcondes there. If he can just lift that into the gap, he tries to play it low. You can see the gap to Marshall's right. Matt Clark, who's just coming across to him, gets there and makes the block. Here is Brian and Buemo. That's headed across. And he tries to go first time on the half volley. And I can see you all saying, touch and finish, Brian. But he hits it on the half volley and puts it over. Obviously, with no goalkeeper in the way, any shot above waist height is either going in the goal or likely to be handballed, isn't it? So Yeah. But that is Kamil Joshwiak. Spot the ball. It's hitting the base of David Raya's post. He's completely beaten. So for all me saying Mbuemo had a big miss there, Joshwiak hits the base of the post indeed. Unlucky there. Let's have a look at the numbers. 58-42 in terms of Brentford there. 12 shots to 5. No shots on target for Derby. Remember, hitting the post does not count as a shot on target for anyone who's about to raise that. 10 corners to 2 for Brentford. 2 big chances to 0. So if you're a Derby fan, you'd be well happy with that one. I got a text today about Cornell McDonald, the defender who came on for Davis, who looks like he could be another one off the production line for Derby. Get your comments in on this one, guys. Brentford in 7th. They're on a good unbeaten run, aren't they? And they had been on a winning streak, but 2 straight draws now does mean only 5 points in the last 3, despite the fact it is 11 points in the last 5, which bigger picture we should probably praise Brentford for. Not quite in the top 6. And remember, with that parachute cartel, probably only 3 places up for grabs in that top 6 for the mere mortals. Although I suppose Cardiff and Stoke are a year 2 and a year 3 parachute team, aren't they? But we know that the advantage diminishes, particularly in year 3. Less so in year 2, actually. Still going to get a 35 million quid payment into your bank account. Derby are 4 games unbeaten, which is a start, considering how terrible they've been. They've only got 2 victories, haven't they? But you just wanted to see it start trending upwards, didn't you? And that it is. And let's be honest, last 2 games, Millwall away, 1-0 win. Brentford away, 0-0 draw. Take those 2 games in isolation, no goals conceded and 4 points. Even if Derby weren't in the bottom 3, that would still be decent across those 2 games, wouldn't it? So some shoots there, do we think? I don't want to be proved wrong and they're going to lose next week. So Harvey Elliott looks good. Bit of pace, trickery for Black. Yeah, he can pick a pass as well, Harvey Elliott. That miss from Mbuemo was disgraceful. Disgraceful. Useless, Brentford, says Carl. Koku never kept back-to-back clean sheets, didn't he? At Derby, Rooney done it in his first 4 games. Everyone in here wrote us off. I did too, Lewis, although you'll never get me predicting a 3 or 4-0. I know better than that. We were so good defensively. Bielik, best holding midfielder in the league. There you go. Couple of clean sheets, and he's the best holding midfielder in the league. But I do appreciate your enthusiasm there. And yes, we all expected Brentford, I think, to get a win in this one. Brentford missing Ben Rama. Watkins Tony doing a great job. You can tell that Ben Rama's a big miss, as he would be. Was that a rare mistake for Marshall? Yeah, possibly. He's out of his goal, and I'm trying to remember. I was watching, and I can't actually remember watching the clip back. I guess he lets the cross go. We love you as Norwich fans. Thank you. Visual excellence. You get what I'm trying to do here, don't you? In my opinion, Frank is reluctant to make the big decision he would. 4-4-2 with Tony and Force up front. That could happen. Force is certainly a player, isn't he? Rooney giving his own twist on the churn. He loves it, doesn't he? Hey? Another day we could nick it 1-0. The difference is frightening. They're running through brick walls for Rooney. There we go. You'd love to see it, wouldn't you? A Wayne Rooney football management career that was anything as good as his playing career. There you go. Brentford's still a good side, of course, but does a traditional ground like Griffin Park give a better home advantage than the Shone? Maybe in the short term, yeah, but we know that the benefits of the new stadium in the long term are going to be great, aren't they? Derby still aren't scoring any goals. Ultimately, clean sheets without scoring won't keep you up. Good point in isolation, but they need points, goals, I think, and wins. Agreed. It's a start, though. It is a start. No longer look to Talk Sport or 5 Live. I found my championship Valhalla. Many thanks, Ben. You're welcome. First time in 110 games, no shot on target for Brentford. Well, they should have had a shot on target, shouldn't they, with Buemo's one? But you'll take it, Lewis. You will take it. I think it says a bit more about their finishing in that game rather than the chance creation. You'd rather no chances created, wouldn't you? But looking better for Derby, Lewis, isn't it? Looking better. Where are we going next? Oh, dear. Preston 3, Middlesbrough 0. Warnock will not be happy. Why is it as soon as I do Borough, I immediately want to know what Neil Warnock said? So childish, isn't it? So for Preston in this one, comfortable win. Rudd in goal. Hughes, Davis, Huntington, Fisher, Ledson and Brown. Brown actually gets to play in central midfield. Sinclair, who looked like he's actually getting into some of the old school Scott Sinclair form this season, or certainly the last 5-10 games. Potts and Barkhazen, who's playing well. Jaden Stockley, who has mixed reviews amongst the Preston fans we spoke to last night. For Borough, Bettinelli, Spence, Fry, McNair, Buller, Howson, Sitting, Watmore, Morsey, Saville, Johnson, Asombalonga. You've got to die for 3 points. Check out my Neil Warnock song as well on the channel. Great fun. Hopefully you'll agree there. Although Mr. Warnock, can we call him Colin? Let's not. Wasn't enjoying this one. So this is Hughes, edge of the D there. Sorry, the ball's obscured. You can see who's going to hit the shot. Look at Brad Potts on the penalty spot. I think he's just going to change the direction of this shot on its way through. And like I was saying about the Norwich game, when you have such narrow, deep defending, deflections will happen. And the most preferable deflection is one off your own team where the player's redirecting it in. This is Scott Sinclair. Now, that's a great finish, by the way. That's not an easy chance from there, is it? Bettinelli well positioned. Sinclair running, pressure on the shooter. Left foot smashes that low across the keeper. You see what I mean about his form? Remember, I don't know whether I'm putting him on too much of a pedestal here, whether he can get anywhere near. Scott Sinclair was a hell of a player back in the day, and he's not, over the hill here. I wonder if we can get some form going here this season. And here is Emil Reish coming off the right-hand side to hit that one home with the left foot to the goalkeeper's right-hand side. 3-0 to Preston. Let's have a look at the numbers. And you will see 3 big chances to 1. 3 big chances missed as well. 11 shots to 10. Borough did get 3 shots on target. 4 corners to 0. Borough are always going to create a couple of chances in a bit of territory. But Warnock will not be happy. He's conceded 3 goals and 3 big chances were missed also. So, yeah, I'm wondering about Borough now. Let's get comments in on this one, guys, please. So Borough are 11th, and you just hope they haven't zenithed, they haven't climaxed already in this season when they got up to were they in the playoffs or were they just on the edge? They must have been in there at some point before they lost a couple of games. I think it was at home to Norwich where they'd looked invincible and had a long unbeaten record and didn't manage to get through that one. So Borough down to 11th. Preston got 7 points in 3, which you'll be very, very happy with if you're a supporter of any team. And they're just outside the top half. I think Pearson's back out injured again now, but I wonder if they can get Sinclair, Reese, Barkhazen all on the pitch, up the top end, all on form at the same time. Keep it steady at the back because they've conceded a lot of goals. Look, 25 conceded is one of the worst in the league. In fact, only I can see Coventry with 26 worse. I think I've got that right. So, yeah, that would be my view on Preston 3, Borough 0. Let's have a look. What did Warnock say about the Preston toilets? So they're not good enough. Absolutely not good enough. Harry says, Scott Sinclair looking a great pull for Preston. Throwback to his Swansea days. He only got 25 goals in that season, didn't he? Borough not a good away side. No, they are not. Chris. Good result for Preston. Shocking for Borough. Still look light going forward indeed. Late to the party. We've just been saying lovely things about Birmingham as well, John. Disgusting dressing room, more comments. We tried to chase the game and they end up scoring 2 sloppy goals. It shows you how young the squad is, really. I can't do his voice. We love him, though. Borough looking like a nearly team this season. Yeah, possibly. I expect a few familiar faces will be heading to Borough in January. Get Sol Bamba in there. That's what I'm saying. Will this be the turning of the corner for Preston? If they decide to be more consistent, they'll be a good shout for the playoffs. Borough, I think, need another season before seriously contending. You realise Warnock's about 71 or something already, isn't he? Time is a ticking for his career, isn't it? Surprised Warnock never went for Zohore. I bet he did. I bet you he did. Wasn't there another? Zohore. No, well, it was Zohore who'd gone to Millwall, hasn't he? Right. Any more? We've got Barnsley 2, Wycombe 1. I think that's the last one today. Barnsley 2, Wycombe 1. Barnsley bouncing back nicely from losing 4-0 at home to Bournemouth. Wycombe going under in this one by 1 goal. I wonder if that will be the story of the season, being competitive but going under by 1 goal. Hallewell comes in for Barnsley at centre-half. Hellick on the bench. Interesting, because that's always, whenever we put Barnsley up, I assume I know exactly who the keeper, the 3 centre-halves and the wing-backs are going to be. We still get Walton, Solbauer, Anderson, Stiles and Britton, but no Hellick. Interesting. Hallewell's going to concede a penalty in this game as well. James comes back into midfield. Thomas starts with Woodrow and Chaplin for Wycombe. Allsop, McCarthy, Knight, Grimmer, Jacobs. Grimmer plays centre-half, really? Gape. And then they have decided to start putting some attackers on now, Wycombe, haven't they? Look, McClary, Horgan, Wheeler, Cashkett, Akin, Fenwer, all either strikers, dribblers, runners in an attacking sense as well. Let's take a look at the screenshots I've got for us. And Callum Stiles there, nice finish. That's going through the defender's legs, isn't it? You can see Allsop just positioning himself, but that's going in the corner to the left-hand side. I know you all know it's not an in-the-know secret, but Callum Stiles is going to have a good career, isn't he? He's a really good player, and I keep saying he'll end up in central midfield, and he gets the opening goal there. That is Halma and McClary there. I don't know what Halma's doing. He's just kind of on the wrong side of him. Takes him down. Possibly, I'd need to watch the replay back of that one. I didn't think this at the time, but obviously the law says obvious goal scoring opportunity if it's in the box and you haven't made an attempt to play the ball. Maybe the referee thinking that he has and they just bumped into each other, but maybe got away with one there. I'd have to watch it back. Up steps Jacobson, who scored seemingly countless ones from the spot and set plays last season in League One. Sends Walton the wrong way, puts it home with the left foot. And there is McClary, who won the penalty with a guilty-looking left arm on Luke Thomas there, who goes down. Corley Woodrow does stick the ball in the net after this goes loose, but I do think the Wycombe players had stopped. That said, it doesn't matter. And Allsop, he went the right way. He's got the right height on his dive, but Woodrow hard and low into the corner. I wonder how many goals Woodrow will get this season if Barnsley can finish somewhere in the middle. Decent player at this level, as are a fair few of Barnsley's players. Get your thoughts in on this one. 15 shots to 6 for Barnsley, 7 corners to 5. One big chance apiece. They would be the 2 penalties, wouldn't they? So reasonably tight with Barnsley edging it. The numbers say that. 2-1 says that. I'd be interested in if anyone had a differing view on that. There is the table. Barnsley, well, the one thing Barnsley have done well is after losing a couple, they get a couple of wins. And that sounds really stupid, but once those turn into draws, you slide down the table quickly. I've always said, if you're going to lose a couple of games, you can probably countenance 3 defeats every 5 games as long as you win the other 2. You're still going to be over a point per game in this league and coming up around 50 points. So generally speaking, I would have that better than 4 draws and 1 defeat. I know literally it's 2 more points, but You know what I'm saying, don't you? Wycombe, well, like Derby, they just can't win, can they? But the sense is with Derby, you think they might start winning, whereas Wycombe, you're not entirely sure. Far, far more competitive, I know, but draws won't keep you up. They absolutely will not. So they need to, and it's about economy for goals. And look at that bottom 4. 9 goals for Wednesday, 10 for Wycombe, 8 for Derby and 10 for Forest. No coincidence that those teams down the bottom with horrible scoring records are A, not winning games, and B, the bottom 4. So, go figure, really. Let's have a look at some comments. What do we got here? James, a very dull game. Ball spent the majority game in the air. Both penalties were harsh. Ref had a shocker. Well, hopefully they even themselves out then. Let's be honest, we're all waiting for the big man to score. Akinfenwa. Yes, he's definitely box office, isn't he? Barnsley will stay up. Yeah, of course they will. Got some good players. Styles, Woodrow, Chaplin. I thought Wycombe made it very difficult for us, says another Harry. It's good to see that Barnsley are not dropping points from teams around us. Indeed, yeah. Big confidence going into the Yorkshire. Oh, is it Barnsley and Sheffield Wednesday? I'm thinking at the weekend then. With that team, I'm honestly surprised Wycombe don't concede more. Well, as in how, the essentially 5 defending, 5 attacking, isn't it? Akinfenwa is the best player in the league by a mile. I think Emi Buendia or Ismail Assar or David Brooks may have something to say about that. But there you go. Crazy that if Wycombe had won the game, we'd have Sheffield Wednesday, Derby and Forest in the bottom 3. That is mental indeed. Wycombe are very hard working, but simply not good enough. No surprise in that. Rotherham look to be sliding into similar bracket. Yeah, check out I've done a bit of writing on Rotherham this week. I've tweeted it. So, yes. McCleary, great player. I think he'll do a job in this division. Ainsworth said the worst performance for several games. We'll be playing Wycombe and Rotherham soon, says William, who I think Cardiff fan. I don't want to say he's a Cardiff fan if he's a Swansea fan. Is he Cardiff fan or a Swansea fan, William? I can't remember. Correct me quickly. Wycombe up against it this season. Need to find results from somewhere. Could Woodrow be a target of other clubs in January? Possibly Mr. E. And he's probably plays for a club who are more likely to sell than others. Barnsley, I think they want to be in the Brentford mould of we will sell and we will replace. Don't worry. So yeah, quite possibly. Sorry, William. Cardiff fan. Are you drinking out of a can of beans? No, it's actually quite expensive. Actually, can you see that up on the webcam? It's an espresso coffee cup, and because I sit here and drink coffee while I'm working, I do it very, very slowly. So, Ainsworth is a dark arts manager. Stat: 204 matches, 81 home, 61 draws, 62 aways. You'd expect a bit more of a disparity between the homes and the aways there, wouldn't you? Barnsley will be easily mid-table. Wycombe just look like they won't have enough, but certainly won't be embarrassed. Didn't he sign a contract, Woodrow Conway? No, he won't be cheap. Yeah, I agree with that, but we know Barnsley would sell. I think when Wycombe beat Birmingham and drew the next game, they were going to start hinting from. By the way, that's no disrespect to Barnsley, and Barnsley fans I've spoken to. It annoys them as well that the ownership has been a little bit like that. If you've got a Mowat or a Chaplin or a Woodrow Styles as well, the idea that they will sell. But hey, the reason that Brentford are now able to challenge the parachute teams is they've over 5 years just sold, replaced well. So remember, selling is not a death knell on your team if you replace well. It's not the end of the world. Although this may now be the end of the stream. We have done all of it. Should we have a quick look at the table after round 17 is complete? Norwich top, 2 points per game. Well done. Bournemouth into second on 31. And then 4 teams on 30 points. Watford, Swansea, Reading, Bristol City make up the playoff teams. On the outside, the chasers are Brentford and Stoke, with Cardiff trending up massively with 4 straight victories. Blackburn and Borough dropping to 10th and 11th. Huddersfield trending up into the top half, 3 wins in 4. Preston the same, 7 points in 3 in 13. Luton trending down. Birmingham and Barnsley upwards. Birmingham back-to-back victories. Millwall trending down badly, possibly the worst in the league in that regards of where they were and where they've ended up after this winless run for them. QPR tailing off a little bit. Coventry trending up, which now leaves us with a bottom 5 rather than a bottom 6. Remember, that could become a bottom 7 with a couple of results. We will see. Rotherham, Forest, Derby, Wycombe, Wednesday are the bottom 5. Some big clubs down there. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you are still here, please hit like in the whatever platform you're watching on, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button. In terms of content, I have got the Fantasy League prepared. I will get that done. There'll be the Dearly Departed preview. I'll try and get that up tonight, but it might go out tomorrow morning. But we'll be back here again, 1 p.m. tomorrow, and we will preview the next round. So this has got about 24 hours of lifespan, this video, before it's out of date. But hey, that is the transient and ever progressive nature of the Championship, isn't it? Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you to Russ, our fan sponsor of the review show, a fan and now a friend, despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. And I might have an announcement about a column with a website coming up probably from Monday. So watch this space on that. With my experiences in the entertainment industry, I tend not to announce anything until I always joked, I'll believe it's happening when I'm walking onto the stage, is what I always used to say. So we will see with that. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Remember, you can support via Super Chat, Patreon, Teespring store as well. You can get a discount over at Teesprings by typing the word live in at the checkout. And with all of that being said, it's a big thank you to me for watching. And it is over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.